Good afternoon. We're here with Chris and David of Within Reason from Birmingham, Alabama on the Rockstar Energy Uproar Festival Tour. Welcome, guys.
Appreciate it.
Got a question for you. Your band was formed in 2005, and for 7 years, you've made some, in just 7 years, you've made some significant steps along the way, performing for a hit TV show, One Tree Hill. You guys are up on Pandora Radio now. You've been winning some awards, and now you're taking the stage at this Rockstar Festival. You know, for many bands, something like that takes 10 years or better to achieve. What do you attribute your success to?
I think it's basically like work ethic for us. I mean, you know, that's been one of the reasons that we've stayed independent to this point, is that we haven't been able to find anyone else who obviously cares as much or would work as hard for our band as we would ourselves. And so every single day we're out there, you know, on the grind. We're obviously writing like every band, but, you know, someone told me a long time ago, no one's going to promote our band more than we are ourselves. And so, you know, we try to promote ourselves, and then we try, you know, when we pick up one fan, to obviously turn it into 2, 3, 4, you know, sharing the music, you know. And we give a lot of stuff out for free just to let people hear it.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff too kind of fell in our lap from the beginning. Robert Evans, I'm a big fan of Robert Evans. He said one time, there's no such thing as luck. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. So we've always trying to think ahead of ourselves, so when something comes up, we're ready for it. I'm trying not to make any mistakes. And, you know, we tour with a lot of bands that we always try to take the time to ask them, like, hey man, what mistakes does your band make, so we don't have to make those mistakes. And it's kind of helped us down the road. When an opportunity comes up and we have to make a decision, we kind of have an idea of which direction we need to go. So far, it's helped out.
Being out on tour with all these bands, you know, being on the road has its hardships, especially when you try to balance your home life with, you know, life on the road. What do you guys do to relieve the stress, both at home and on the road?
Drink. Absolute living. No, I mean, are you talking about when we're at home or when we're...
Either, yeah, both.
I mean, when we're out on the road, I mean, for us though, it's so funny because, you know, like a lot of these bands, especially on this tour, I've been bands for like 20 years. These are bands that he and I lived together in college. That's how we made our money. We played acoustic, you know, at different bars and clubs, and we were listening to these bands, and we still do. But then today we're sharing the stage with them, and so it's like, you know, it's gratification for us that our hard work pays off. But even seeing some of our favorite musicians that we've idolized as kids wearing our t-shirts and our hats on stage and everything else, and I guess that's the biggest reward as a musician, to see people that are your idols wearing your shirts now that respect you as a musician. It's really surreal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun on this tour because every day we get up and I'm always looking forward when that 24 hours rolls back around and it's time for us to, you know, get our guitars out and get on stage. That's like where everything just releases, you know. To me, that's helpful for me, man. And that's why I'm doing it.
So you've had good fun on this tour.
Oh man,
we've had a great time on this tour.
Being on stage doing what you love to do is like the best natural high. I've been skydiving more than once, and like I would say I'd rather get on stage any day than jump out of an airplane. Plus, it's a lot more safe, obviously. But I mean, it's the best feeling in the world when you get that crowd response, and you know they sing your stuff back and they're yelling for more, you know, and 2-hour lines with, you know, signing stuff that they're buying just because they enjoy the music. And so we spend so much time writing this music and, you know, put your heart and soul into something, and then when people actually enjoy it and you get that feedback, it's the best gratification in the world.
You know, along with good things on a tour, everybody always has a few horror stories. So, what are yours? What's the weirdest or the worst thing that's happened to you, or something that you just...
No, I was just sitting here thinking, I don't know, but I was gonna say, even today, like we're here. This is on this tour. This is the closest date we have to our hometown, and this is the only time that we've had this happen on the whole tour. My mic was cutting in and out, just, you know, clipping during the set. So that's obviously never comfortable, especially when you get close to home. It's like things only happen like that. But I was gonna go with our bus broke down outside of Oklahoma.
Yeah, that was in the past. But like, I tell you, the first day we did on the tour, we got on stage and the crowd's huge. We're all pumped up, and my strap lock on my bass broke off, and like we're getting ready to kick the show off. My guitar just goes wham and hits the stage, and it's just like 3,000 people have to just see that. But, But other than that, man, it's been smooth, man. Everybody on this tour, the crew's been awesome. The production's been incredible.
Super laid back.
Everybody's been great. So if that's the worst horse tour we have, then I think we're on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, it's so laid back. Oh, well, you can see Shinedown's doing their meet and greet right now, and the tour manager just let us do this interview here. Like, everybody's just like, man, just our house is your house. But that's the thing on this tour. You can tell from top to bottom, super organized, but so laid back because these people are professionals and they don't get uptight because they do it every day.
Yep.
It's perfect. And that's why it's been so easy for us to just come right into the tour and just feel right at home because everybody makes you feel like family. You know.
Back in March, you guys released your album After the Crawl,
Right.
and it's got some good critical acclaim and is making its way up the charts here. Are you working on the next CD at this time?
We're always working on the next CD. It doesn't stop.
I think in this business especially, it's one of those things now because people have access to buy singles versus buying the whole record, which most people do. And so we realized that, and instead of doing an entire full-length record on this one, we did an EP so that we could deliver new music to our fans now, but then we could go back and instead of waiting a year or a little longer to do another full-length record, we're going back in January to record with our producer Nick Chwala to do our next EP and stay fresh and to constantly stay, because it's out of sight, out of mind. And if you disappear and you're sitting at home and you don't do anything for 3 months, then you go dormant and you got to move forward, move faster, and do it every day.
Nashville has a saying, if you're not appearing, you're disappearing.
That's it.
A lot of times when you write a record, like we didn't write 5 songs to say these are the 5 songs for the record. We'll write 30 songs and pick 5. So we've always got stuff like certain songs that didn't fit this record. Maybe they may make the next one, and we can work on those songs. So we're always thinking ahead. What's the next one going to be like? And then when we get done with that one, what's the next one after that going to be like?
When you interact with your fans at your meet and greets and things like that, do you get stories of how your music has affected them? And if so, can you give me a couple examples?
Yes. I can think of one that was like most flooring to me by far. When we put out the first demo that we ever wrote as a band, we put this song out and we had this girl came to a show and she said that she and her grandmother loved this was their favorite song, and so her grandmother was actually on life support. And it's a really depressing story right now. We're going to move down, but her grandmother was on like life support or something, and she said that she knew this was her grandmother's favorite song. This is what they shared, and so she said before they let her go and everything else that they put the headphones in her ears and they let her hear it. And they said they got one last smile, and after that was like,
oh man.
And so it was, it is a depressing story, but at the same time, just thinking that anything that we could sit around together and use our artistic creativity to create something that would affect, 2 people's lives that we don't even know. And that's a memory that she'll have with her grandmother forever. And just the fact that we affected someone's life like that is just crazy to me, but it makes everything in this whole thing worth it.
It's not just about writing songs to be rock stars. We write about things that we know about and things that the issues that we're having, and we're hoping somebody else could relate to what we're trying to do too, and that may help somebody else out, because there's songs that I relate to from bands that I like growing up. That's the same thing we like to do. Everybody's going to feel different about the way we wrote that. It may not be about, they may not know what we wrote about, but they may, in their own way, it may make sense to them. And that's something really cool that a fan can get back to you when they come up and tell you that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, going to what he just said, like, not about just being rock stars, like, when people say that, like, I almost think they're, like, being funny, like, joking, because with us, we're normal people, we're just like everyone else, but at the same time, with other bands or whatever, we honestly try to be different, than other bands. We don't want, like, some of the other bands, I feel like, copy, what other bands are doing, and that's what they want to do, like, hey, we want to do this because it's working for these guys and this band and that band. We do the opposite because we want to be different than those other bands.
We should probably explain for anybody that if they heard the cheering, that was Shinedown just walked behind the camera.
But very nice of them to let us do this interview during their meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any one thing that you would like to tell your fans?
I mean, one, thank you.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you guys. And I think the thing is, for us, like, so many bands nowadays are dependent on radio, but the fact that radio numbers go down every single day, we've worked our ass off, and we will continue to do this to give our fans new music on a regular basis. But when we meet fans, We just want to deliver to them and on a personal level. And we encourage them. We do everything ourselves, Facebook, everything. We encourage them to hit us up personally. So when we come back, we try to do things, whether it's we barbecue outside the venue, or we do a 6 p.m. dinner after sound check, and we invite everyone to come back. We met the time before, because if the better that we can get to know those guys, then the better they know us as people, and they understand us more as musicians, and like not that rock star mentality. We would rather try to get to know everyone. I know it's impossible to get to know everyone, but we at least try to make it personal.
And we run our own websites. We run Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. Write us a note, we'll write you back.
So if they're writing to you, it's you answering.
Us.
It is, yeah, always.
And we'll always sign who they're speaking with. And come say hello if you're at the show. Come by, grab me, say hello. I'd love to meet you.
Very cool. Well, guys, Chris and David, I really appreciate your time and the opportunity to sit down with you.
Very good.
Best of luck on the tour, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Have fun. Enjoy.